Pit of the darkness. Man. All right, man. We on air, man.
Yeah, okay, we're
Good
live.
morning. Good morning, folks. Views from the 22. We back at it again, man. We don't rest around here. No sleep for the weary. You understand? But and we ain't weary. Nah, but we're gonna give it a couple minutes here. We're gonna see let some people tune in. Good morning, Mr. Schefter. Good morning, sir. Good morning,
Good
good brother.
good morning, my man. Good morning. It is a beautiful morning, week 15 in the NFL. I cannot believe it is week 15. But like you said, we're gonna wait for some of our audience to join us, and then we're gonna get started on what is low-key a loaded weekend.
Yeah, loaded.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on in football, man. Football, I'm telling you, we're gonna be doing a lot of videos and stuff coming up. I mean, we got some Baker Mayfield film we're gonna be dropping soon. We got a lot of stuff going on. Oh yeah, y'all. We're doing an Aaron Rodgers. We're dissecting Aaron Rodgers, which means we're gonna look at his throws, we're gonna look at the things he's doing, we're gonna look at the whole thing, and we're gonna let you guys decide whether he's overrated or he gets the praise he deserves. How about that?
Oh.
Sometimes you got to leave the fate in this. The fate of some of these folks' hands need to be put in the fate in the hands of the people.
I agree. I agree with you.
Let's see. Give it a couple more minutes here.
Yeah, I just posted the link in the group, so we'll give it about 60 seconds, Jeremy, and then whenever you're ready, brother, you snap the ball and we'll roll.
Absolutely.
Link in the group, so we'll give it about 60 seconds. There we go. Oh man. You know what's crazy? Right before we get people coming here, okay, so Colt McCoy is out. That's official. I think we already knew that. And Jordan Reed is also out, but that's whatever. There is this thing, and it's one of the things I know we're going to talk about. That Joe Flacco is probably going to be a free agent next year.
Let's talk about. You know what? We about to roll, man. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead, throw my foot in the turf, and call for the ball, man. Let's
All
go.
right. Do you think? Do you think?
Let's
Alpha
start.
Coop.
Let's start right here, man. First and foremost, man. Good morning, man. Views from the 22. We at y'all again, man. This germ so true. Mo, man. I talk to the people, man. Wish them good morning, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is the chef man, Mo Schefter. And I'm telling you, man, it just last week, obviously, I went to my first NFL game. Um, but as an NFL enthusiast, the whole entire time I'm thinking to myself, man, I got a lot of things I got to catch up on Game Pass this week. And so I caught up on a lot of it. I was excited about the first NFL game, but it is nice to be back in the comfort of my own couch with my TVs in front of me and some popcorn and a pivotal December weekend in football.
True man in a false world. Reporting live, man, from the 216 Cleveland, Ohio. We in the building, man. Look, man, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, man. I am not a Browns fan. I am a football fan. I just want to make that clear. Football is football. There's no one team bigger than the thing, and the thing is football, baby. Let's do this the right way. First and foremost, man, this is Views from the 22, man. Just a little background information. Myself and Mo met in a group with a good friend of ours named Jay Ham, man. I don't even know where this guy came from. All I know is I've seen another dude with a beard talking about football. And we were sitting there, and our first conversation, bro, was about Eric Berry. And we were sitting there talking about this particular player and how much we love watching this guy play. And everything from that point on has been history. It's been what, 2.5 years now, strong. And we talking about Views from the 22 has grown. I mean, we evolved into our own Facebook group. Um, and our Facebook group is still relatively young. We're only maybe what, about a year old now.
Not even because we opened it up after the Super Bowl.
So we're approaching a year, y'all. So it's been about a year for us, about a year, 9 months or so. And everything else, man, it's just we just roll, man. What we love about football is that football doesn't have to be a sport where you pick a team all the time or you root for one team. Every team every Sunday has an opportunity to do great things because these are all grown men supporting their families And the bigger picture is, man, views from the 22 is the name of this particular group because we don't rely on YouTube highlights. We don't rely on other people's opinions. We let the all 22 film speak for itself. So we just give you the views from the 22. And that's what literally that's what we do, man. So Mo, I'm gonna let you kick it off and say something. This is the founder of the group, Mo Schefter. Mo, man, I'm gonna let you get in, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, we came up with this name. I think it was me and my guy Jay Ham, who's actually commenting right now. And as he just confirmed it, we opened in the spring of 2018. He actually started the Facebook page, and it was under "Keep Your Head on a Swivel," but he was already occupied with 94 Feet of Life. And so I told him, "Yo, like, there's no reason for me to create a new page. I'll take it over, and I'll find a name for it." And I was around the time when I discovered Game Pass about 3 years ago. And man, our life has forever really changed because once you see the game from the coach's film, once you see it from that all 22, that's why Jerm said views from the 22. Once you see the game from the all 22, you really just you can't go back to watching it from broadcast. Broadcast is it doesn't tell nearly the story of what actually transpires on the football field because when you get into Game Pass and you get the sky angle and you get the end zone angle and you get to see what happens in the trenches, you get to see what fully happens with the secondary, how they scheme, how they adjust. Like it really, as simple as the game is, there's a lot of complexity and sophistication to it, especially in today's NFL, where the athletes are so much better than what they ever were. That schemes and offensive philosophies are just getting more and more sophisticated. And so we just here to give it to y'all the only way we know how, and that is just to give you enjoyable, refreshing, and more importantly, objective football talk.
Absolutely. That's what I believe it. I believe it. So we just want you guys to come on and enjoy it. I mean, more than anything, man. If y'all have things that y'all want to see, make sure y'all throw in the comments or email us viewsfromthe22@gmail.com. Email us some things that you may want to see on film. We're not opposed to anything just because we have our own lab agendas with the things we want to see, the things we want to show. That doesn't mean we don't want to incorporate, of course, the viewers. You know, that's what this is about. Views for the viewers. Period. Point blank, man. Let's make it real simple. Um, hey, so with that being said, man, we got a view on a particular player that we talk about last year. This is the Super Bowl MVP last year. Nick Foles himself. Mo has some really, really interesting comments that we've talked about in our Facebook group before, but also in general. Real quick before I pass it to him, so I let him pass his knowledge about this player. Man, to me, man, Nick Foles is a guy. Now that we know that Carson Wentz is going to be done for the season, um, more than likely, I want to see Carson Wentz come back healthy. I just want to see a healthy Wentz because that's what that matters to football at the end of the day. Nick Foles, man, I remember the season that his first season with Philadelphia where he threw 2 interceptions and 26 touchdowns. And I thought to myself then, this guy has to be the streakiest, most inconsistent, most high and low quarterback I've ever seen as a starter. And people say, really? Why do you say that? Because at the end of the day, he rode a hot streak and won Super Bowl MVP and got his team to the Super Bowl, to the winners table in the Super Bowl last year. But also before that, he didn't play particularly well. He had a 3.5. What did we equate it to? A 16 quarter, a
If that,
16 quarter hot streak
if
that
that,
ended up translating into Super Bowl
right?
success.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
no man, tell these folks what you think about Nick Foles? Man. Go ahead, man.
Let me tell you something. Webster Dictionary, open it up, go under the word anomaly. There will be a picture of Nick Foles standing right there holding the Lombardi trophy. I don't even know what else to say about it, True. I mean, this dude, in my opinion, we kind of went a little back and forth about it. You gave him, we just went back and forth about it. Really and truly, when you look at it, though, he had 7 good quarters. The problem is it was the 7 right quarters. It was the 7 perfectly timed quarters of any quarterback's career. It was way better than Joe Flacco's run in 2012. I mean, if Nick Foles played Tom Brady 10 times, if he played Tom Brady 1,000 times, Tom Brady would win 998 out of those times. And what the other time would be a tie, and the other time would be a Nick Foles win. And it just happened to be the most important game of his life. He played great. Shout out to that coaching staff from Doug Peterson to Frank Reich to John DeFilippo. They did a really good job with the adjustments. And I got to give you credit where it's due, true. Shout out to Chip Kelly for some of the things that he implemented, and the foundation that they had under Chip Kelly is ultimately what helped Nick Foles win a Super Bowl. I understand that might be a bitter pill to swallow for the anti-Chip Kelly from the city of brotherly love, but that's just the honest truth, my guy. And
hey, look, sometimes when we say stuff out of our mouth, it makes sense. That's all. But I mean, Chip, man, he just got rid of some of those me first guys. Like, no offense to the players, but Deshaun Jackson is a me first guy. You know, Shady McCoy is a me first guy. Those guys were, even though they're good talents, they're just me first guys. And you got a locker room full of guys who aren't about me; they're about we. And that makes a difference on Super Sunday. That makes a difference getting to Super Sunday. So, with that being said, man, I don't take credit for stuff like that, because sometimes the coaching staff, like Doug Peterson, came out and gave Chip Kelly credit, and then everybody in the Eagle contingency kind of understood from there, like, hey, maybe what Jerm was saying was true, but every regime before a current winner plays some part in the current one's success. And that's something that people have to say. If the Browns turn into a playoff team next year, I don't care what anybody says. If Hugh Jackson wouldn't have been there to do the rebuild, it would have never happened. So we can talk all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, if Hugh Jackson would have never been there to do the rebuild, remember, Hugh Jackson's regime got Myles Garrett. Hugh Jackson's regime is the one that ended up getting the plethora of talent together in the first place.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackson's regime that's traded for Jamie Collins, who has played very, very well since some of these other linebackers have went down. So I got some questions about that. I'll be seeing later on in the year. But anyway, the next thing we're going to talk about, hey man, we're going to talk about another guy who could fall under that anomaly category, unfortunately. We're going to talk about the unflappable Joe Flacco. I got to be honest, man. The rumors and the reports are saying it's potentially saying that he will not go back to Baltimore. He'll be a free agent. Fair or foul if I say I think that's pretty damn dumb, in my opinion. I mean, fair or foul, Mo? I'm gonna let you dive in.
I mean, it's not foul because I don't really believe that Lamar Jackson is ready to be an NFL quarterback. I understand that he's been playing well, relatively well. I understand that they've been winning games outside of Kansas City last week, but he still has a ways to go before you can really give him the keys to drive your franchise, in my humble opinion. For one, he doesn't take care of the football. Shout out to my guy Dennis King. He's one of our better supporters. I don't know what the numbers are, but I think he has like 6 or 7 fumbles in 5 starts. That's a problem. That's a big, big problem, because now not only is you throwing the football a risk, just snapping the ball for us to pass the ball is a risk. That's a big problem to have. That is a very unusual problem to have. And if I don't even know how else to spin it to you, like, that's too much. He's got to do a much better job of protecting the football. And in my opinion, Germ, I mean this wholeheartedly when I say this, he could possibly get them to January, and that's to the playoffs. That's fine. But when it comes to Wild Card Saturday, Joe Flacco needs to be your quarterback.
I can't disagree, even though I understand why they want to put Lamar Jackson in the game. Here's the problem. When you watch Lamar play quarterback, he does nothing well as a quarterback. I'm going to just be flat out real. His feet and mechanics are so off. I'm going to say off. I'm not going to say sloppy. Sloppy is giving him credit. It's saying he can improve it. Off is saying he just doesn't have it. I don't believe he has the feet in order to play quarterback. That doesn't mean he can't improve. It's saying, in my humble opinion, I don't believe he can. Lamar Jackson has been the same guy since high school, the same guy since college. He's very, very, very lackadaisical is the word we use for him. And at the end of the day, he gets no energy, no zip. He doesn't explode when he explode through his hips when he throws the ball. None of that stuff. He does not use anything on his body besides his legs well, and that he only uses his legs well when he wants to run.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the sign of a quarterback. The quarterback position, as we will explain and educate you guys, is the most robotic position in all of professional sports. The only thing equivalent to the quarterback position is probably a pitcher, considering that pitching and quarterbacking is similar in the fact that you throw maybe 100 times in a day at least. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say, man, what we need to see moving forward from the Ravens. Number one, that defense, the defense has played well. In today's NFL, there is no such thing as a shutdown defense.
No.
The rule changes have completely turned all of that away. So in today's NFL, what we have to make sure we understand is teams are going to get scored on, teams are going to have bad weeks, and defensively, teams are going to get their ass kicked. In the words of our guy Trav, get their ass kicked. That's what's going to happen.
I mean,
Go ahead.
look, to your point, like there you really can't shut down offenses anymore. How you gauge a defense in today's NFL is you look at their third down and you look at their red zone. Now, the Baltimore Ravens are ranked number 4 defensively in third down conversions. That's good. Unfortunately, they're towards the bottom of the league in red zone scoring. So that needs to improve. Now, they're giving up about 18 points per game, which is number 1 in the league. So that means that teams aren't necessarily driving the ball up and down the field like that. I think you saw last week when they held Kansas City to 27 points. And yes, I said held Kansas City to 27 points because Kansas City at home, with the amount of possessions that they received, it wasn't like the Chargers. The Chargers against Kansas City on Thursday night, their 2 first half possessions after okay, their scoring drive in the first half, and that went from the first quarter to the second quarter, and then the drive right before halftime when Phillip Rivers threw that interception in the red zone. Those 2 drives equated to 1 full quarter. That is the definition of controlling the football. Controlling the football doesn't necessarily mean you just pound and pound and pound away. No, you got to do it in a meticulous way. And in the words of a great head coach from Kansas City, you got to keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys. That is what the Chargers did. The Ravens didn't necessarily matriculate the ball down the field against the Chiefs consistently enough where you saw Patrick Mahomes pacing back and forth on the sidelines. So I thought the Ravens defense did a relatively good job with last week outside of the 4th and 10 play. But I mean, CJ Mosley on Tyreek Hill, that's not the situation you want to be in. As far as the Ravens moving forward, I said like it's gonna come down to when they get to January, they're gonna have to find explosive plays via the passing game. And I just don't think they can find it with Lamar Jackson. And that's a problem because if they run into a New England, if they run into, yes, even a Pittsburgh, if they run into Kansas City again, if they run into the Chargers, who they're going to play this weekend, if
they run into the Texans.
If they run into the Texans, of course, of course, if they run into the Texans, I mean, they can't beat any of these heavyweights with Lamar Jackson. They just can't do it. They need Joe Flacco because at the end of the day, he's going to be well rested, and his experience and he just plays different in January. We've seen it time and time and time again. He just plays different, and he's the guy that needs to be at the helm moving forward if they get to January, and they still very well could. I think they only need to win 2 of their next 3 games, or even they could even lose 2 games, and if certain things go a particular way, they'll still get in.
Yep. So with that being said, that's a beautiful segue into the game slate for this week. We're going to actually start with the Ravens and the Bucks. I mean, this game is really simple, man. The Ravens can't afford to lose any more games. They have the Browns behind them, and they have to play the Browns again. For the Bucks, man, it's really simple, man. In my opinion, the Bucks, man, it's really about trying to see if you can build some momentum for next year. Mo, we said that this roster wasn't very good, and we said that they maybe had a couple pieces, but they didn't have enough, and we predicted they would win 2 games. Well, Mo, they're 3-10, so we weren't far off. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you get your couple words in, and then we'll make a game pick.
I mean, as far as this game is concerned, I know Deshaun Jackson is out. That's not good for Jameis. For the Baltimore Ravens, let me see who's out for the Baltimore Ravens, if anybody of significance. I don't see anybody really I know they had a couple people as questionable, but I think they're all expected to play. For the Buccaneers, in my opinion, Dirk Cutter, there's no reason for you to wait till January. There's no reason for you to wait till 2019. Begin to. I mean, look, when you move to a new home, Germ, do you pack on the last day? No, you prepare. You go to Home Depot. You get the boxes ready. You make sure you have the U-Haul prepared. Get that ready, Dirk, because that's just enjoy these last few games down there in Central Florida. But it's a wrap for him, and it needs to be a wrap for him. That culture is absolutely shot. If they remotely care about their first overall investment in Jameis Winston, they need to get rid of Dirk Cutter. And to any head coach who's going to come in and coach Jameis Winston, I got good news and I got bad news. Jameis Winston is still very raw in his 5th year. And that is the good news, and that is the bad news. While you have a lot to work with, there is a very strong possibility that this is it for him. And that is whoever comes in, whatever staff needs to come in, needs to provide a proper quarterback culture, similar to what happens in Philadelphia, Kansas City, New England, Green Bay. Similar to what the Colts did for Andrew Luck this following year, similar to what the Cardinals and the Jets will eventually do for Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen, because they need to get the proper quarterback culture for Jameis Winston, and let's find out who he truly is as a quarterback. Obviously, this is a much bigger game for the Baltimore Ravens. If you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously the professionals are going to play for pride. But if it comes down to a field goal to win it, tell the kicker to, hey, wide right. We can maybe get a top 5 pick, top 7 pick. You make it, well, now we're picking in 12 and beyond. So I understand they're going to play with pride, but if you have an opportunity from a field goal to lose this game, lose this game. Baltimore, no excuses. You want to get into the playoffs. You've made the decision to roll with Lamar Jackson. Despite everything I said about how I feel when they get to January, you want to justify it. You cannot lose a game like this today.
Absolutely. I'm going to roll with the Ravens today. And I don't want to pick the Ravens, but I just have no faith in the Bucks.
I hear you.
I'm going to roll with the Ravens, 24, Bucks 10. I don't know if the Bucks are going to muster up much offense, but if they do, if the Bucks muster up an offense against this defense and they're able to play good situational football with the Ravens, the Bucks could very well steal this game, though. Just going to be honest.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The point spread is 8.5 in Baltimore's favor, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. That is just, I don't know. I mean, are they really faulting? That's just crazy to me. I'm still going to take the Ravens, but if I was a betting man, and I am not, I would take the Buccaneers to cover in this game, to be honest. I'm taking the Ravens 21-13.
All right. Next, we got the Cardinals and the Falcons. Hey, man, look, we're going to make this real simple. The Falcons are not good. Matt Ryan may not be the answer at quarterback.
Nope.
The Cardinals, Josh Rosen is your future quarterback, potentially. Next, David Johnson is still a good player. Larry Fitzgerald is going to retire. You lost your rookie, Christian Kirk, who is a big part of the passing game. Still got Pat Pete in the back end, and he will be with Quintorris Jones. I called him Quintorris Moss because he's so fast. Quintorris Jones today. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I'm rolling with the upset today. I'm going to roll with the Cardinals. Give me the
Wow.
Cardinals 24, Falcons 21. I think Peterson is able to stay with Julio today. I think Ridley has a good day for fantasy guys. But overall, I think David Johnson has a big day against that front seven. And I think Rosen, for whatever reason, gets a little bit of synergy with Mr. Fitzgerald, one of the GOATs himself at receiver.
I mean, my bad there. I didn't switch the camera on to you. They were watching me the whole time you were talking. That's my fault, true. But I like the pick. I like the upset. I probably would have rolled with Arizona if the Falcons weren't at home. There's just they tend to play better at home. Even though they had a few losses, I think to the Bengals and a couple teams here and there. The Cardinals are giving up the Cardinals are 30th in touchdowns per game, and that's not a good thing. While the Falcons are towards the middle of the pack in touchdowns per game. The Falcons have obviously been much better in the red zone this year, but as we talk about, they're still not getting Julio Jones remotely nearly involved as much as they should. I think this is going to be a much closer game as well. Once again, Vegas, it's hard to beat Vegas. You can't beat them. We always talk about it. They're not building these magnificent casinos and these $1 million waterfalls for no reason because people are winning. But they have this game as 10 points favorite for Atlanta, which once again, I think that is very, very high. So if I was a gambling man, and I am not, I would have to choose the Cardinals to cover simply because of everything you touched on, in particular with David Johnson. I think he gives him a shot versus anybody. Rosen he's playing like a rookie. I don't even know how else to say it. He's playing like a rookie. He's going through a lot of growing pains. I do believe there needs to be a better quarterback culture set place in Arizona. I would have absolutely loved, and I was hoping that Bruce Arians could have stuck around for at least one more year just to instill that knowledge into Josh Rosen, the same knowledge that he instilled into the likes of Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and Ben Roethlisberger, and the Carson Palmer, who he revived Carson Palmer's career. I mean, he walked into the locker room, saw his shoulder, and said, "Clear," and all of a sudden, Carson Palmer can throw the football again. Regardless of it all, I'm still taking the Falcons, but I expect this to be a relatively close game. Give me the Falcons 24-17.
All right. Lions and Bills. Lions. Go ahead. 25-12.
Oh my God. Lions at Bills. Let's talk about a game that I do not want to pay attention to. What would you say, 25-12?
Yep.
25-12. Well, Kerryon Johnson is out. I know that part. Give me, you know what? I'm going to take the upset here. Give me the Bills. I think they can maybe force Matt Stafford into a couple turnovers. Josh Vick apparently has like 3 straight games of 90+ rushing yards. That is one of that probably sums up 2018 NFL season. Give me the Bills to win this one. Bills Mafia. It's in Buffalo. It's the wintertime. Just give me the Bills to win this one, 19-16.
All right, next we got Oakland at Cincinnati. Ooh, we talk about the toilet bowl. Let's give it up for the toilet paper. I am going to roll. Okay, Oakland beat Pittsburgh last week.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. Never mind. Give me Oakland. I guess I'm just going to take Oakland. I think Oakland should be able to spread Cincinnati out. Remember, Cincinnati's secondary hasn't played particularly well this year. It's been pretty rough for them. But overall, man, I got to be honest. For some reason, Oakland wants to win games all of a sudden.
Seriously.
So since y'all want to win some games, win this game and then don't win no more for the rest of the year. So this is the last thing you get. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas. Merry New Year. Oakland Raiders, Cincinnati Bengals. Oakland 22, Cincinnati 21. Let's just 2-point conversion, Derek Carr to Jordy Nelson.
All right. I like it. I do like it. Neither of these defenses are very good. Obviously, as we know that the Bengals scoring defense is 32 in the league, and the Raiders points per game defense is 31st in the league. So that is literally worst and second worst. Like you said, the toilet bowl. There's a lot of, again, to steal another term of yours, there is a lot of Brillo pad material that is going to be on display in that game today. The only guy who you really, I mean, really, the only reason to watch Cincinnati these days is Joe Mixon, their version of number 2-6. And I think he is going to be the reason why they can find a way to sneak this game. Nah, give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders. I don't know if Cody Kessler is going to be able to pull this out. I think Joe Mixon is going to keep it close, similar to David Johnson effect in Arizona. But I'm gonna roll with you as well. I can't believe it. We're both picking the Raiders. I mean, I'm down here in an undisclosed location in South Florida. I don't know if it's gonna snow or not today, but the fact that we both picked the Raiders is a little terrifying.
Cincinnati's quarterback's name is what's his name? Drexel or something like that?
Oh, yeah. I said Cody Kessler. Yes, it's Jeff Driscoll.
Driscoll, yeah. Okay. No. Just clearing that up because I know you knew who he was.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know.
I ain't gonna let you go out there like that.
Hey, you know what? I ain't gonna call no names, but I know this video has went viral. All right. At least I didn't think that Derek Johnson versus Hunter Henry was the key matchup for the Thursday night game this past Thursday.
Yeah.
And I don't have any makeup on.
Yeah. Well, no makeup. Kendrick Lamar, no makeup today. Let's see. We got Redskins versus the Jaguars. I mean, Redskins, we like the front seven, some of the pieces that they have there. Mm-hmm. But the bigger picture is they're banged up. They're hurt. Mm-hmm. They're reeling right now. I'm gonna roll with the Jags. I'm pretty sure you are too. Jags defensively should be able to hold this team to under 17 points.
Yeah.
And they should be able to, in so many words, they should be able to run the football today. They got High and they have Fournette. I want to see 200-plus rushing yards today. And I want to see, moving forward, I want to see what Cody Kessler brings to this offense. Give me the Jags, let's say 24-13.
You know what's funny, Germ, is that when I was putting together all the injury reports and whatnot, and I was typing it on Microsoft Word, so I was typing it for all the teams. When I got to the Redskins, I looked at their injury report. I just clicked copy and paste because I was not going to spend time typing out all those names. They are the definition of an injury-riddled team. On a positive note, Alex Smith is home from the hospital. Thank God for that. Shout out to him. We're praying for a quick recovery. I don't know if he's going to play football ever again, but the fact that he's out of the hospital and he's home, his health is obviously the biggest concern right now. So shout out to him. I hope he gets better if by somehow, some way he comes across from this. I understand we have been very harsh and critical of January Alex Smith, but this is bigger than football right now. We hope you get better from all of us at Views from the 22. With that being said, who cares who win this games? Give me the Jaguars 2019.
All right. Titans versus the Giants.
I got to plug in my computer. I'll be right back. 30 seconds.
Yes. Okay, so while he goes to plug in the computer, we got the Titans versus the Giants. Let's make this really, really simple, y'all. I mean, this should be an interesting game in particular because the Titans boast one of those defenses that will be able to get a little bit of pressure here and there. They will be able to generate pressure, but the bigger thing that they'll be able to do is they will also be able to somewhat contain the running game. And I want to see how Saquon Barkley plays against this front that the Tennessee Titans has. For the Giants, it's about the blocking for that particular team. For the Giants, it's about the blocking. If they block well, they give Eli a chance. They give Odell a chance, who I believe Odell is playing this week.
He's out.
Oh, he's out again?
He's out. Yeah, he's out. There's a big issue going on over there.
Yeah, okay. That's something we'll be paying a close eye attention to. But shouts out to Sterling Shepard, who plays pretty well in his absence last week. I want to see if he can continue and bring that same energy this week. But this is going to be the Saquon Barkley show for the Giants, of course. And Tennessee, If I'm Tennessee, I'm just gonna pretty much make sure I'm paying attention to number 26 for that particular team, and I'm gonna see if I can slow him down. Um, he's played better the last few weeks. The first few weeks he played, it was atrocious to watch on film. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I don't care what his rushing total looked like. I don't care what his number said. I can show you a play he almost killed himself. So at the end of the day, give me the Titans today. I think the Titans, with no Odell, can slow down the running game, and that will be the difference. Today is the day we want to see what Saquon Barkley's about because Vrabel has those boys playing sound,
Yes.
fundamental defense, gap integrity, all the small things that equate to success on Sundays. Give me the Titans. Give me the Titans 26. I'm at 26-21.
That's a good score. I actually like that score. I'm going to go with the Titans at well. You covered everything. There's no reason for me to regurgitate it. 30-17 Titans.
All right. Seahawks versus 49ers. This is a division game. It should be interesting. We got the young.
Your boy is out, though. Penny is out.
Penny's out?
Yeah.
Okay. Penny's out. Not a big deal. Honestly, with that being said, here's what's going to make this interesting. We got the young GOAT, Nick Mullins, in the game, getting ready to sling the rock. Hey, man, see, I picked Seattle to run the table kind of in a way and maybe lose a game or two here and there. This is not an exception to the rule. They should beat this team handily. I don't know what made me pick Seattle. I really enjoy the defense. Bobby Wagner is the best linebacker in football right now, and it's not even close. I mean, he's a special player. I'm rolling with Bobby Wagner today. I can't go against that guy and that defense right now. They're really gelling. They're doing everything the best they can. They're playing good situational football, and they're getting good pressure with no name brand edge rushers. So let that sink in, man. Give me the Chicken Hawks today, and give me the score of 24-13. Okay. Chicken Hawks.
So a couple things. I am not here to call out the 4-letter network. I think we all know who the 4-letter network is. However, if you are going to put somebody on national TV to cover the NFL game, make sure he knows what's going on. We talked about that what happened on First Take with Stephen A. and how horrible he was in his assessment of that Chargers Chiefs game. I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm really not. But we do feel like we have a responsibility to have a strong football talk culture. And we don't want anybody to be misguided. Last week during the game, Jason Witten said that the Seattle Seahawks don't play too deep. All right, that is a lie. If you have watched the Seahawks this year, they have switched to more of a too deep. Why? Because Earl Thomas is gone and Cam Chancellor is gone. So obviously, those two guys who were the reason you were able to play cover 3 shell over and over and over and over again are gone. So you have to adjust. Shout out to Pete Carroll. He is probably, resumes aside, he is the best coach in football today. I don't care what anybody says, because I tell you one thing, I guarantee you he wouldn't have put Rob Gronkowski out there last week. But that's a whole different story for a whole different day. Give me the Seahawks. They had a big win against the Vikings last week. I expect another. I expect them to cruise through this game. I'm sorry, Richard. You got to see your boys beat you again for a second time this year. It is what it is. Give me the Seahawks. I'm going to go 27-20. Seattle.
This next game is one of the more intriguing games. We got Green Bay versus Chicago. Look, man, Aaron Rodgers has not played very well this year. I'm going to just tell you the truth. He's not. He's missing a lot of throws, a lot of open receivers. But the bigger picture is that Aaron Rodgers and this offense should be more predicated on Aaron Jones and then Aaron Rodgers. It should be a different order of Aarons here. At the end of the day, Aaron Jones has elite traits and makes him tier 1 running back type of guy. Tier 1 running backs have great instincts, great feel, and on top of them having those things as well, ladies and gentlemen, they possess a very, very unique skill set that allows them to change the complexion of a game with one carry. That is Aaron Jones. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the most physical guy, but he has the most heart. He is a rich man's version of Ahmad Bradshaw with a little bit more speed, a lot more determination, and even better vision. And that is what makes this guy special. And I'm going to give him his just due because Views from the 22 will only talk about things that are positive for the most part with players who get no respect.
Yes.
Positivity for the no respect, we get disrespect for the people who get too much damn respect. That's how it goes. But at the end of the day, man, Green Bay is still mathematically in the playoff hunt
Yes.
because the Vikings don't know what the hell they want to do. Bro, it's really simple. Aaron Jones has to be a part of the game plan. I need to see 30 touches for him today. Devontae Freeman, Devontae Adams, get him involved as we go. Go from that point. Bro, that's really simple. If that they do that, they can stay in this game. Mitch Trubisky is still not a good quarterback, and that's just plain and simple. Hey, look, if you want to stop Khalil Mack, this is what you do. You chip him, you chip him, you chip him, and you run at him. That's what you do. You see, chip, chip, dip, chip, chip, dip. There you go. I'm giving y'all that. Listen, that's game.
Yes,
True man,
sir.
false will. Remember that. At the end of the day, this game feels like one of those games where the Bears let Aaron Rodgers off the hook again. I
Oh
swear,
man.
this feels like that game. I'm going to roll with the Bears because they have no mathematical reason, no scientific reason to even allow this to be a game if they go after the quarterback the way they did last week and they push the pocket into Aaron Rodgers' lap and they maintain gap integrity. I'm going to roll with Chicago 24, Green Bay 23. I think Chicago has some opportunities to stop Aaron Rodgers and that Green Bay Packer offense in the red zone. That will be the difference in the game. And I think ultimately, Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen, that combination is very, very unique. I'm going to roll with Chicago, but I could see Aaron Rodgers getting left off the hook.
I mean, man, look, it's one of those things where the same way 12 just dominates his division, bootleg has that same effect on him, but we call him bootleg for a reason because it's just not quite the same. Brian Bulaga is out, which means Jason Spriggs. Yeah, that means Jason Spriggs versus Khalil Mack. So they better double dip. Because man, it could be a long day for bootleg today. It's going to be cold. It's in Chicago. That crowd is going to be fired up. Obviously they lost Mo Wilkerson, Mike Daniels. They lost as well. Kenny Clark I think he's going to play, but he was a limited participant in practice this week. I think this is Chicago's year in that division, and I think this is where they solidify themselves. Shout out to Vic Jr. When we did our podcast a couple weeks ago, he said they would win their division. That seems likely to be the case unless something just drastic happens. I don't even think unless something drastic happens, but they can win their division and kick Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs today. That is an opportunity that doesn't come around every day if you're Chicago. They need to jump on it and pounce on it. And the same way Leonardo DiCaprio, whatever happened to him in that movie, that's what the Bears need to do with Aaron Rodgers today. Give me the Bears to win this one. I'm gonna say I can't believe that I'm gonna say this score because that would mean that they would have to hold Aaron Rodgers to under 17 points, which is not an easy task. Give me the Bears 19-14.
Okay. All right. Now the next big intriguing game we got Miami versus the Minnesota Vikings. This is pretty much an NFC team that is at the brink of missing the playoffs, considering they're still in right now, because mathematically everybody has failed to under 500. And then we also have a Miami team that just got a miracle last week because Bill Belichick's a dumbass. So I mean, this is one of those games where it's not really much to cover because it's really just about Miami run the football, Tannehill continue to be conservative with the ball. I did say continue to be conservative. Hit Kenny Steals, hit who's open, and move the chains. But Frank Gore and Kenyon Drake need to have the ball in their hands more often. Period.
Yes.
Point.
Yes.
From Minnesota, can we please block for Kirk Cousins just a little bit? Can we pinch somebody? Can we trip somebody? Can we do something? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, this man is making throws from his back.
Yeah.
Literally. People said that Aaron Rodgers' offensive line was awful, but Aaron Rodgers' offensive line is much better than this guy's. They say that all of these lines are so bad, but the Minnesota Vikings line is probably one of the 3 to 5 worst in professional football.
It is.
They are out of position. They get knocked off the ball. I'm talking about the line of scrimmage. If it starts at the 30, it's probably at the 28 because they're getting pushed back into the quarterback's lap. Unacceptable. Zimmer, just like we talked about with Cutter, it's time to go to Home Depot. It's time to get those boxes. It's time to go and do that. It's time to go get the Scotch tape from the dollar store. And man, start taking down some of those paintings on your wall, man.
Yes,
start
sir.
putting them in boxes. Newspaper, go to your local newspaper station, grab some newspaper, bro. It's time to go. Right now. Not now, right now. But in this game, I'm gonna roll with Minnesota. I think Minnesota will be able to run the ball a little bit today. And I say a little bit, just enough to get by. I think Adam Thielen today is going to be the key. Stephon Diggs probably has a bigger game than Thielen today.
Okay.
I think Stephon Diggs is going to be able to get behind.
Xavier Howard is out.
He's been out for the last couple of weeks now. I think it's been the last week at least.
Yeah.
With him being out, Minkah Fitzpatrick, the rookie's in there. I think he's a good player. I think he's still getting acclimated into the NFL, though. Let's roll with the Minnesota Vikings today because they need the win to stay in the playoffs.
Yes.
Miami can still make the playoffs even if they lose this game.
Yeah.
Give me Minnesota 27, Miami 21.
You said that. This is certainly a much bigger game for the Vikings than it is for the Dolphins because the Dolphins at 7-6, they're competing with about 5 other teams. And while it's still very competitive for that 6th seed, they don't have – this is not a must-win for them. But I'm going to pick the Vikings, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I think this is one of those games where that Vikings front 7 could take over this football game. The Dolphins' offensive line is shaky at best. Yes, they run the football very well. If Devontae Parker, he gives them another dynamic in the passing game because last week, really, it was just Kenny Stills on some crossing routes that got them open. And then obviously they gashed New England in the run game. I think it was like 9 yards per carry they were averaging against New England. It was something.
Brandon Bolden had 2 carries and 2 touchdowns at one point in the game.
Yes, and it was mainly because of bad tackling, bad pursuit angles, and an inability to set the edge, which stop me if you've heard me say that about New England's defense in the last 3 years. Just the reality of it. But I do think that the Vikings defense is going to be the reason they win this game. It's December, man. The games get a little more professional scoring appearances. I don't even know how to say it. You know what I mean? Like the games the crazy scores aren't all over the place in the NFL. Give me the Vikings because defense ultimately is what needs to be present when you get closer and closer to grown man football. I'm going to take the Vikings 25-16. I think Everson Griffin and Danielle Hunter are going to have some big games. I think Linval Joseph can push the pocket as the entire Dolphins starting interior line is not what it was in weeks 1 through 3. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball as efficiently as they did last week. I don't think they'll find big plays in the passing game the way they did last week. I don't think Devontae Parker can catch anything on Xavier Rhodes the way he had a couple catches on Stephon Gilmore last week. And ultimately, I think Kirk Cousins, you said Stephon Diggs is going to have a bigger game than Thielen. I agree with you because Fitzpatrick is probably going to be traveling with Thielen because they're both primarily slot guys, whereas Diggs is going to be on the outside. So Diggs, Treadwell, whichever one, I'm sure they're gonna find a couple big plays in the passing game. Obviously, with the new offensive coordinator, now that John DeFilippo is out, I am presuming there's gonna be a much more presence of the Vikings run game, and their running backs are in no way inept, especially with Dalvin Cook, one of FSU's finest. Shout out to Trav. So give me the Vikings to win this game 29-17.
Next game, we got Philadelphia versus the Los Angeles
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
In the building.
The anomaly.
In the building.
Yes. So now, okay.
And I got an encore. Do you want more?
With the Brooklyn Boys. One last time, I need y'all to roll. Okay, so dear Jared Goff, you are a step to the front and a step to the left version of Sam Bradford. What that means is Sam Bradford is notorious for not stepping up in the pocket. Can we agree to disagree on that, or do we agree?
No, we agree.
Okay, so Jared Goff at least will step to the front, or step to the left, or to the right, but that's about it because he still looks like a statue. I'm a little scared of the statue in a game where you got a guy like Philadelphia, a team like Philadelphia with that many bodies that are that relentless that can get after you for 4 quarters. Last week, we seen the Bears pretty much have this dude shell-shocked. It looked like Ryback hit him with the finisher move. Shell-shocked. That's a WWE reference. Yes, shout out to WWE. But bigger picture, McVay. We do not need to reinvent the wheel here. We have 30, 230, or not 230. That is the question. If Gurley don't touch the ball 30 times today, I don't know if the Rams win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll with the Rams because Nick Foles, this is the anomaly playing. I just don't agree with Nick Foles as a quarterback right now. He started the season off bad, and he may end it bad. So the Rams, by default, give me the Rams 27, the Eagles. I'm going to roll with 13 again because I think the anomaly gets them to 13 points. If they get more, woo-wee. But the Rams should win this game because they should be able – the best football player on the planet, his name is Aaron Donald.
Yes. Yes. Now,
I started away from the camera, but go ahead.
Now, in the counter, Jason Kelce is probably the best center in football. So that's going to be a really good matchup. This Rams-Eagles matchup is just really intriguing, all across the board. Look, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? If I'm wrong about Nick Foles again, so be it. That's just life, baby. But I do not believe that is going to happen. I think my issue with McVay is, off my count, in big spots, in muddy games, he's 0-3, and Todd Gurley fades into the background. Fix it. The problem is right there in front of you. The good thing about any problem is it has a solution. Todd Gurley, Todd Gurley, Todd Gurley, Todd Gurley, Todd Gurley. Say it in the mirror 3 times if you have to. I don't care what you got to do, but make sure you are constantly calling number 30's number if you want to win anything as we get into what we call grown man football. Obviously, the Eagles' front seven is superb, but Ezekiel Elliott was able to eat against them last week because there was a threat of the passing game with Amari Cooper on the outside, and they couldn't just hone in on Zeke. Similar thing here. You have the ability to pass the ball. You have the ability to spread them out. You're not going to be in Chicago. It's not going to be 0 degrees or whatever it was last week. It's always sunny in LA. I expect a big game from the Rams tonight, especially against Nick Foles, and that just the Eagles. Look, Jason Kelce said it best. Hungry dogs run faster. Hungry dogs play faster, and they just ain't hungry this year. So give me the Rams to win this game 27-17.
Next, we have. I'm going to actually do this game first. We got New England versus Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. I do not know how to feel about this game. Both of these teams need this game. Pittsburgh needs this game in dire straits. New England, it doesn't even matter about New. Okay, for New England, it doesn't matter because New England they're in the dance regardless, pretty much.
Well, yeah.
For
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, however,
But New England could drop to the 5th seed
yeah,
or the 3rd seed.
yeah.
Sorry, the 3rd seed.
No, they'll still remember the Texans won yesterday, so
Right.
they'll be. New England will be out of the home field advantage mark if they lose this game. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, needs this game so bad that I'm willing to just pick Pittsburgh just for the sake of giving them some good karma moving forward toward 425 when the game starts. When we hear Mr. Tony Romo color analysis.
Yes, sir.
Let me honestly say this, man. For New England, man, it's about two things, man. Josh Gordon has to play better. People won't say it. He does look good on some plays, but other plays he doesn't. And bro, Bill has to figure out what he wants to do defensively. Because the fact that Danny Shelton is a do not play some weeks, it's killing that interior defense. They have to play better and more stout against the run. If they can't stop the run, New England is not going anywhere when it comes to January. Because at the end of the day, that defense, I mean, Brady did what you had to do. He had some bad plays. Every quarterback does on Sunday. But there's no excuse for certain things, man. And Bill just has to do better at his adjustments. In this game, I look at it like this. Wherever I see Juju, that's where I'm throwing the ball.
Yeah.
I think Juju is probably, ironically, you know what I think? I think Gilmore is going to be on Juju today.
Interesting.
I think Gilmore is going to follow Juju, and I think they're going to do a matchup with Antonio Brown today. They may try to just take Juju out the game as much as possible. Give me New England today. I think New England just finds a way to win big games.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because of the quarterback. I really must say, give me New England 30, Pittsburgh 26. That's a Le'Veon Bell reference. I think that is the key here. James Conner is out again today, right?
Yes.
Injury report final. Give me New England today, especially with no James Conner. 30-26. Pow pow, shot him down.
I'm actually torn on this game, and this is the first time in a while that I've been torn on a Patriots-Steelers game. I don't think New England is very good this year. I just don't. Watching them last week live and just some of the things we've seen on film all year, I just don't think they're very good. Their front seven is Trey Flowers and Dante Hightower or bust, and Dante Hightower only in the run game. Their linebackers can't tackle very well in open field. Their safeties are seem to be a step slower all around. Really, it's Gilmore, Flowers, and Hightower, and that's about it. Offensively, they couldn't run the ball last week against Miami. They didn't run it very well. They need to run the ball better if just moving forward in general. Josh Gordon needs to play better. He makes a lot of business decisions. There's still certain things that you could just see the timing. The timing is it's not quite where it needs to be between him and Brady. But I mean, okay. So Brady lost to the Steelers in 2004. Fast forward 7 years to 2011, he lost to the Steelers. Fast forward 7 years, and here we are in 2018. I mean, I don't know if there's some kind of 7-year curse that Brady keeps putting on these dudes, and I don't know if it's over or not. I just think the Steelers have a chance today to actually pull off a win, which is crazy because I never thought I would pick the Steelers to beat the Patriots. I really didn't, but that ain't happening today, Chief. I just can't do it. I really just can't do it. I don't think Mike Tomlin knows how to beat Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And you look at it, it was Wednesday, and he was still talking about the Raiders game. That's just not a good thing to happen. I think it'll be relatively high scoring, but I think somehow, some way, as he always does, he will find a way to beat this team. Give me New England 35-31.
And last but not least, the game of the week, which I think is going to be probably the most intriguing game this week, obviously, since it's the game of the week. Cowboys versus the Colts. I got to be honest, man. The Cowboys have everything they need to make this a game in which they can shut down the Indianapolis Colts. Let's roll with the facts here. Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, in that order. And I say in that order for a reason, because it has to be about the run game first. And we throw in Cooper there on some of those slants, some of those ends, some of those digs, and even some of those 9 routes that they're just making them, allowing him to be able to change in the huddle. We're gonna break down some Cowboy stuff coming up soon as well, because really Dak is just not playing good quarterback, and people are still giving him credit, and they're saying that certain things that he's doing is making sense when it's not. Period, point blank, Andrew Luck is the future of the quarterback reigns in the National Football League. He reminds me of another Hall of Fame quarterback, which you're going to have to catch a blog on that, co-blog from me and Chef Man here. So at the end of the day, y'all, the Colts have everything they need to make the playoff push.
Yeah.
I want to see this game be a high-scoring game to the point of we see at least 56 points combined. I want to see a 30-31 type of game, a 30-26 type of game, just like we call for the New England Pittsburgh game. Give me the Cowboys today with a score of 35-31. I think that this game comes down to the difference in the game is Ezekiel Elliott, who is the Cowboys' best player on offense by far. And I think the combination of Jalen Smith to go along with Vander Esch and Sean Lee, I think that trio of linebackers is able to contain the running game and get underneath some of those throws and force a couple bad throws from Luck. Give me the Cowboys 35-31 over the Colts.
Yeah, ultimately, I think Ezekiel Elliott is the reason they win this football game. The Colts' front seven and their defense as a whole is very underrated. I understand that. Here's the thing. Here's the big thing. Zach Martin is out, and this is apparently the first football game he misses in his entire football playing life, which is remarkable when you think about it, really. I mean, he went to Notre Dame, obviously, and he was highly recruited, and what have you, was a first-round pick. And this is the first time he misses a game. As we always talk about, availability is the best ability, and so he's obviously been doing a really, really good job of that. But I still think the Cowboys have enough of Zeke and enough of an offensive line where they can control the ball, they can move the Colts off the line of scrimmage. The key is I don't think the Colts can drop back 40 to 50 times against this team and expect to win. And I think that may be the game plan for them. And if so, that's a bad game plan, and that's a recipe for a hot L. Give me the Cowboys to win this game. Obviously, with a win, they will clinch the division and clinch a playoff berth. So give me the Cowboys to win this football game. I got to give a score that correlates with the analysis. So I'm going to say 27-23 Cowboys.
All right, and with that being said, man, this is our Sunday pregame show. Shouts out to everybody who listens. Shout out to anybody who watches after. Big picture here is, y'all, we do this particularly every Sunday. We got some Saturday matchups coming up, of course, because January is around the corner. Moving forward, y'all, we got a hot slate of stuff coming on. And man, make sure y'all go on viewsfromthe22.com and buy some of this merchandise. Viewsfromthe22.com. At the end of the day, man, we all we got. Views from the 22, baby. That's what it's about. Views from the 22 Facebook group, community page on Facebook. We have views_22 Instagram, views 22 Twitter. Make sure you guys follow. If you got some interesting stuff you want to share, even if you got some hate mail you want to share, you can tag us. Just remember this: we are here for all the smoke,
Amen.
even though we
Amen.
don't see it. Final
Yeah,
thoughts,
man.
Shefty.
I mean, you see, this is the other trap shirt we were talking about. This is the I sent you the other one because I thought you would like that one more. But when we broke down this one, you were like, "Oh man, you should have sent this one." So this one obviously is the other trap design. And for the football heads, the T, the R, the A, and the P are all blocking designs of the trap play, a staple play for any good team in the NFL. Views from the 22 online store. You can type in Petty 22. You get 10% off. There is a lot of shirts. We even have hats, different colors, different styles, shirts, hoodies. Check them out. Enjoy this. Enjoy these games. We got 3 weeks left of regular season football, and as we say, December is big boy football, and we're about to get into grown man football. Those are the final words for us, from me and True. Take us home, True.
2-2. Enjoy the games, y'all.